Hello and welcome to another episode of the Tip Balls Podcast. I am your host, Sam Randazzo, and I am joined by my two sleepy-eyed co-hosts. We're recording in the morning today. To my right, and a very, very, very special happy 65th birthday shout-out
Oh, shit.
to the one
Birthday. Oh, wait. Go ahead first.
and only Uncle Sam.
Hello.
Sing it, Bruce. Serenade.
Happy birthday to you.
Shotgun to
Happy birthday to you. How old are you? How old are you? And behind the computer, drinking a beer at 9:16 a.m., it is Bruce, the tugboat.
Tugger nuts.
It's 5 o'clock
Diddy.
somewhere.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Tugger nuts.
Wasting away
on?
again. Well, training camp is fully upon us. The Buccaneers signed Julio Jones to bring him back up from the ashes like a phoenix. He's going to go for
a couple
1,010 this
yesterday.
year. Yeah, I saw. Did you see any of those? The highlights out of Bucs camp yesterday? Julio Jones
Yeah,
looking
he
like
looked pretty good.
Julio Jones.
Yeah, he's actually looking like
You know what
himself.
I do got to say? I was going to send it
He
to both
wearing
of
that
you.
85, dude.
Tua
I thought he
was-
was a fucking tight end.
Tua was finding Tyreek yesterday.
Tua was finding Tyreek yesterday. I saw that as well.
Yeah.
He was dropping dimes.
Everybody could drop dimes with nobody fucking coming at him. Remember that.
Also, did you see Jamar Chase in double coverage burn the living shit out of Eli Apple? I mean, it's Eli Apple. He's been burned by everybody
Yeah,
in the
he's been
NFL.
burnt
but
by everybody.
Poor dude after the Super Bowl.
just never. Yeah, he just never.
No, Chase is that good. Chase is,
Jamar Chase is.
he's the real thing.
The Julio Jones signing. I really think this is what I concluded. You remember what A.J. Green did for the Cardinals last year?
Yeah.
A.J. Green had a very nice year for a 33-year-old guy coming off of multiple injuries.
And their main guy was out.
Right, filling in for DeAndre Hopkins. He had a great... If Julio Jones can do what A.J. Green did for the Cardinals last year for the Bucs this year...
Let's see what's going to happen with Godwin here. From what I hear, he's not out.
Godwin's
at all.
probably going to start the season on the pup from everything that I'm hearing.
Yeah, he's
and
not gonna
you know
be
what?
relevant.
Again, I'm okay with that because that's fine. Let Russell Gage play in his spot. You know,
Yep.
Mike Evans, Julio Jones. It's going to take... The Buccaneers lost a lot of offensive guys. They lost...
The offensive line thing is really going to be a
They
nightmare
lost
for them.
Kappa and Marpet. Ryan Jensen, it came out yesterday that he had a possibly catastrophic knee injury and could miss the entire year. So now your three best offensive linemen, you lost two to free agency, one to a devastating injury in camp. I mean...
Well, listen, it's not like they're totally...
No.
They're going to bring guys in.
Right.
They're going to work them out.
It's just going to
we'll see
take
what
them
happens.
time, I think, to get into a groove.
Are they going to get their undefeated season? Probably
No.
not.
No.
Probably not.
But
They'll be there at the end.
they'll be
that's
there
what
at the
counts.
end, and it's okay. If they go 4-2, 3-3 through the first 6 games, I got no issue with that.
I wouldn't worry about that.
And because
They're still the best team in their division.
by leaps and bounds.
So
Leaps and bounds. Some other news out of training camp. After a very tumultuous week, after getting paid mad money, the Cardinals faced an extreme amount of backlash for a certain clause in Kyler Murray's contract.
Oh,
I had seen
I got
that.
a notification for that. I didn't read the whole article.
well,
Big shocker there.
what it is the Cardinals their front office wants him to at least do 4 to 5 hours of study every week.
Independent study
that's
away.
what-
from-
Independent
yeah, okay.
study.
Yeah.
Correct. And so that's watching film
And
on his
then-
own, studying
Correct.
playbook on his own, doing something football related on his own, outside, away from the team, away from the facility.
Now that's a stipulation in his contract.
Correct. So his contract could be voided if
If he doesn't,
they find
comply.
out that he's not doing that. They
That's
pulled it out yesterday.
disappointing to hear.
They issued him a new contract without that clause in it yesterday. No other changes were made to the contract.
Well, they're
except
going
the
to
fact
get
that that clause
exactly
was
what they're
pulled
going
out.
to get. Then
It shouldn't be in the contract, but like
it kind of goes without. Well, that was what everybody said. Everybody said
Like,
if
that's what a
Kyler
good
Murray's-
quarterback does.
Yeah, if Kyler Murray's not professional enough to do that, then why are you signing him? Also, why are you belittling him by putting in the contract that he has to do that?
Especially for the media to see it.
Right. As soon as the media got a hold of that it was a frenzy. So they, I guess, made right by him, went back
there
yesterday and
something
pulled
true
that out.
To it, though? Obviously, there has to be some kind of.
It might just be hearsay.
I don't know, dude.
Well,
I don't know.
I'm shocked we haven't heard anything about it before. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Unless it's
I
been
mean,
under
what
the wraps all these
NFL
years.
quarterback doesn't do, watch the plays, go
Listen,
over the
Jamarcus Russell
playbook.
never studied the fucking playbook. Ever.
So unless you're Bobby Lane showing up hammered drunk to the fucking games and practice.
Well,
it's a different age.
That was a different era, dude.
Yeah,
It was
but,
a different era.
Every good quarterback
Johnny
does
Unitas. It
research
was a
and
different era, dude.
actually studies.
They were real people. Johnny Unitas smoked cigarettes
on the field.
on the fucking field, on the sideline.
The hell's the name of that shitty league you like? That
XFL. USFL.
No, USFL. There's people smoking cigarettes while they play that.
Well, let me tell you something right now, dude. 2 guys from the USL, from the Panthers, just got signed to NFL contracts. So you can fuck your hand. Don't tell me they ain't good.
But like,
God bless the Michigan
what's
Panthers.
their record?
What?
What's their record?
I
Since
don't
you
know.
The
watch,
season's over.
I don't even
is
know.
it over?
I think maybe they won 2
No,
games.
I was just watching it the other day on Top Golf.
No, it's done.
It's done.
Anyways, thank God we don't have to talk about that anymore. So yeah, they
God
pulled
bless Jeff Fisher.
they pulled that
Love Jeff Fisher. Idiot.
they pulled that clause out of his contract. So $46 million a year average, and he doesn't have to do any homework. That's not a bad deal.
Well, good for him. Good for him. Then he had made the statement, do you think I could have gotten as far as I have without working at my craft?
Which is true.
Which is true to a sense.
That is true.
To a sense. There's been plenty of guys out there that have been lazy and not done the work. Cam Newton. If you want me to start pointing fingers here, I mean, we know who does the work and who doesn't. Jamarcus Russell.
Brett Favre. Brett Favre says he never watched tape.
Favre never needed to because he was a slinger.
He was the gunslinger.
Another big signing, the Seahawks and Pete Carroll have locked up wide receiver DK Metcalf. The details are a $30 million guaranteed signing bonus. It's 3 years, $72 million, $58 million fully guaranteed. So that's a monster
That's a nice
deal
contract
for him.
Yeah.
This kind of sets the precedent now for Deebo Samuel. And for some reason, I don't think the 49ers are going to pay him that much.
We'll see what
I
happens
don't know why,
there.
but I just
they're
don't.
still working on it. They're still in talks with them. I had read that, and I don't think anything's over yet. We'll see what happens. You'll know when they can't get anything for him and they trade him.
I think that honestly
That could happen.
I was kind of going through this in my head last night. Deebo, I think, could move at some point. And you know who else I see moving? I had a revelation last night. I think the Cowboys are going to move Zeke.
Well,
Was
they
this
were smart
because
they would move Zeke?
your
Eats up
conversation
a
last
lot-
night
a lot of room.
1 o'clock in the morning when I was trying to sleep?
Well, put it on mute.
Oh,
bud.
you
I'm
know what?
always
There's a-
working.
There's a couple
Always
things.
working.
You know, back to the Seahawks, and I don't mean to harp on this, but Chris Carson retired. God bless Chris Carson.
Yes, we talked about that.
Guy left it all on the field. Huh?
We talked about that in the last episode.
Yeah, but God bless him. He left it all on the field.
Yeah,
I was
including
watching some serious
pieces of
tape
He
on
Vertebrae
him.
was.
in his
He
neck.
was solid.
And my man was
What, for a year?
he gave it all that he had. 2 years.
He's Javid Best. Who cares?
Yeah.
Former 49ers linebacker Quan Alexander signs a 1-year deal with the Jets.
Love it. Love it.
That is a nice move for him. And also, Saints wide receiver Michael Thomas is practiced for the first time in 18 months.
He looked like he was running in quicksand.
What do you make of this? I mean, is he back?
I mean,
is he
who
going to be?
knows, dude? I don't think his health is an issue. I think his mental stability is more of an issue than his health. If you remember, this guy was getting in fights with teammates, punching teammates in the mouth, and he's a little out there right now.
Well,
you got to pull it back in. Otherwise, he'll be rapping with Antonio Brown.
here's the thing.
I have Michael Thomas in that fight.
Here's the thing. Michael Thomas, if he is healthy, if his mind is right, and if he's got it all back together, is a top 10 talent.
There was a time when he was a top 2 talent,
Correct.
but that was with Drew Brees. We'll see what happens.
Now, I would love to see him come back and have a resurgence
Yeah, I would
and
too.
have a top 10 year.
He's a good guy.
If he is in shape and he is healthy, that will be the biggest gift Jameis Winston could ever get. For sure. For sure.
Texan asshole.
Actually, Mike, because he just texted me about the SD cards. So.
Anyways, moving on.
I knew it wasn't a girl. Go ahead.
Why? Why something useless you have to come at me for?
I don't know what you're talking about.
So
Yeah, keep sipping that beer.
last week we talked about our quarterback power rankings.
Tip ball should have been tilted a little more toward the cup so you could see it like this.
Then it would have been behind the handle.
No, on the side of the handle.
Just move your hand instead of like this, go like this.
Like that.
Oh, wow. That was fucking difficult.
Yeah, that's nice. Give me a nice big close up here. Hold on. Let me get a nice big close up here. Can you see there? Can you see it, everybody? Look at that shit, huh? Balls.
Okay.
God, you're old.
Yeah, wait. Hold on. How was your birthday?
It's great.
What'd you do?
Went to eat
Where'd you go?
Antonio's.
You did.
Spaghetti and meatballs with some fennel sausage.
No Cheesecake
great.
Factory?
Sorry?
No Cheesecake Factory?
No Cheesecake Factory. No.
What made you go with the spaghetti and meatballs? Don't you
Well,
usually go with the...
I went
forgot
with
there's
spaghetti and
cheesecake.
meatballs and fennel sausage because that's my shit. That's my go-to.
No, I thought what's the other sauce? Don't they have the Rosa sauce or whatever?
Oh, they had no
pink one?
The Rita sauce.
That's it, Rita. Yeah.
It's an orange sauce.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You didn't
Good.
Not in the mood for
No,
that?
I didn't go for the Rita. I didn't go gnocchis, man, because I just feel like I was
You'd still be asleep right now.
I'd have to give birth before I could even show up here. But I love it. The kids got me from this little Italian bakery. They got me a cannoli cake.
Oh, that's nice.
And that thing was, oh my God.
It's good, eh?
I'm in a coma right now.
Love it.
I'm in a cannoli coma.
Love it. We're big barbecue fans on this show. I've got to shout a place out because I had a absolute fucking fantastic lunch from there yesterday. It's called Full Rack Barbecue. Just opened up here on Mack Avenue, next to Lefty's, across the street from St. Joe, in that little plaza that's been empty for God knows how long. They had the best ribs I've ever had in my life, bar none. They were perfectly tender, juicy, no resistance off the bone. Their sauce is perfect. It's not too sweet. It's not too spicy. It's not too vinegary. It's just like perfect barbecue sauce. It's a good mix of everything. No too sweet, no too spicy, no too salty, no too vinegary. It was perfect. And their macaroni and cheese will fetch your soul. It's that good. It's that good. You need to give it a
Too
shot.
bad he just
Mentioning-
eats chicken breast.
Yeah, they have smoked chicken for Bruce.
Mentioning the mac and cheese really pulls me in.
Does it?
Because if you make a pretty good fucking
It's
mac
better
and
than
cheese.
my mac and cheese.
Because your mac and cheese is probably the best mac and cheese I've ever had.
I'm aware, but it's better than my mac and cheese.
It's
It was
have
an
spice
out of
to
body
it?
experience. It's peppery.
peppery.
It's not. They don't use sauce like I do. It's peppery, and it was delicious. Homemade cornbread, delicious.
Better than Boston Market.
Slaw.
Come on.
slaw?
Boston Market.
Yeah.
Boston Market's like fucking dog food. The slaw,
Are you kidding me?
the slaw, it was definitely a vinegar base, not creamy.
Yeah, I don't like creamy slaw.
No, but the problem, it wasn't.
I don't like saw.
It didn't get you here. It wasn't too vinegary.
All right,
Nothing
so
was
it's not
too
too
vinegary. It had just a little sweetness in it, little poppy seed situation going on in the
wow.
slaw dress. It was fucking
Yeah.
top notch. So shout out to Full Rack Barbecue. Now, I'm not one for free shout outs, but they deserve a free shout out. That was fucking delicious. Anyways, moving on. So if you follow us on Instagram, most likely you're a dick because you've commented something under our pictures and just shredded me endlessly for our positional power rankings. And that's fine. I'm good with that. But last night I had a actual conversation with somebody on Instagram.
Oh.
Somebody actually wanted to have a conversation
shout
rather
them
than just
out.
putting a bunch of clown emojis underneath my picture. But
Is it somebody you know? That's
no,
the clown picture.
no, just a fan of the show.
yeah,
If they knew you, then I
he
understand the
commented,
clown picture.
Nice post. Like,
Yeah,
very
just
well
a good
done.
dude.
It just-
And he came and he's like, "Hey, I all your reasoning on shit, I get it." Which not everybody has to agree with me, and I'm good with that. But I want to talk about the running back power rankings and why I put some guys where I did. Because again, I started an absolute
JPete07_.
J Pete.
JPete. No profile picture.
He's a good dude. We talked to he's from Dallas. Talked a lot about the Cowboys. I want to get into that. So far on our Instagram we have 1 through 15, and Bruce has the full list, as do I. So I want to go through it, and I want to get your thoughts on some of these guys. So I had 2 honorable mentions too that I didn't really have a spot to fit in at.
Okay.
So I want to start there, and I want to quickly go through this because there's a lot of guys here, and I wanted to talk about some other things before we finish today off. But my 2 honorable mentions, especially with Chris Carson retiring, were Kenneth Walker and Gus Edwards. I think as far as Kenneth Walker's not going to be the bell cow from week 1. It's just not going to happen. Rashad Penny is going to get time to start off the year to prove himself that he is still the number 1 guy. Kenneth Walker, I think there's a lot of hype on Breece Hall because he has the job essentially, whereas Kenneth Walker's going to have to earn it.
But I don't know about that. I mean, Carter proved to be a really good guy there in New York.
Yeah, but
I don't think that they're gonna pull away. I mean, Breece Hall is a talent. He really is. But I didn't think Carter was very bad at all.
No,
He
neither
ran
did I.
hard last year.
but the hype train is rolling full steam ahead on Breece Hall.
Yeah. I know.
So I'm going to say, yeah, I love Kenneth Walker. I think he'll fit in very good into that Seahawks offense. And when Pete Carroll gets Rashad Penny injured for the 900th time, he gets a starting running back injured, Kenneth Walker will come in there and play a great role. And Gus Edwards, especially now, I know he's on the PUP list with Dobbins, but they said most likely Edwards will be ready to go before Dobbins. So if he comes out there week 1 as a starter,
Okay.
Gus Edwards, I'm a huge
He has
fan.
the talent.
He's got the talent.
We've seen him tear it up.
Like he's 1,000%
it's not like-
got the talent.
Yeah.
He's going to do fantastic, and I love that duo of Dobbins
Okay.
and Edwards. At 32, I have Kareem Hunt.
Okay.
I saw him yesterday. I watched some videos on him at camp. He was banged up last year. As he was banged up at the beginning of the year, Chubb
Well,
was
if you remember, Chubb was missed a few games,
right.
and he had to pull the load while Chubb was out.
Correct. And I'm not going to lie to you. Kareem Hunt can pull the load. Kareem Hunt could be a starting running back
Well,
anywhere
they
else.
had the Johnson kid there, too, to spell those.
Dearness Johnson's also there.
Correct.
So Nick Chubb's obviously higher up on my list. And there's a ton of people who came to me, how do you have Nick Chubb at 7? How do you have Nick Chubb at 8? How is Nick Chubb this far down? Because if they play it smart, 1, we have a whole new offense in Cleveland. We don't know what we're going to see. 2, you don't know who's going to be the quarterback week 1, so you don't know if they're going to be effective whatsoever.
Yeah, wasn't the
Right.
backup thrown yesterday?
Well, yeah, because Deshaun Watson is inevitably going to miss time.
Yeah.
So you don't know what the offense is going to look like. You don't even know who the quarterback is.
Brissett was getting a lot of time there.
If it's Jacoby, do you trust them to score points at all? And how much of the workload are they going to take off of Chubb's back and give to Hunt and Dearness Johnson to try and utilize Chubb throughout a full year? In my opinion, when it comes to running backs now, if you don't have a good number 2, you are setting yourself up for disaster. Because the way the NFL is designed now, running backs are not. It doesn't matter if you're as big as Derrick Henry as we saw last year. It doesn't matter if you are as much of a powerhouse as Nick Chubb. If you give the running back the entire bell cow workload, he will not make it through the year, and you will have a Saquon Barkley situation
You
5
gotta
years
have
down
that
the line.
one punch.
You've got to have a
1-2
complimentary
punch.
back in this
Yeah.
day and age.
Oh, Najee Harris is doing it without a complimentary back.
So you're going to hear my theory on that here in a second. Because
my
I got
opinion.
a shitload of hate on him, on where I had him on the list
Really?
as well.
I'm just kind of surprised on that.
But yeah, I think Kareem Hunt's going to take on a bigger part of the load this year to relieve Nick Chubb, depending on what happens with Dearness Johnson, because he is somebody to keep an eye on. At 31, I have Tony Pollard.
I don't have a problem with that. Pollard puts up great fantasy numbers every year.
Personally,
Returns kicks.
for me, 31 is low for Pollard's talent.
Oh, I think he's a lot talented, but what are you going to do? As long as Zeke's there,
A lot. Yeah.
that's where it's at.
I put a poll up on our Instagram story last night after talking to our fan in the DMs. What do you do with Zeke and Pollard? Zeke's getting paid $15 million a year. He's no longer, I won't say no longer. Last year he was not effective. Pollard is talented. Pollard is younger.
Zeke was banged up last year and didn't want to turn his job over.
Right.
That's basically what it was.
So now
He's not himself.
if you're Jerry Jones, are you putting Zeke out
They're
there to be
going to
the
have to
bell
make
cow?
a decision here.
But are you putting Zeke out there to be the bell cow? Are you splitting them 50-50? Are you giving more reps to Tony Pollard? Those are the three questions. One, do you trust Pollard enough to give him the workload and keep Zeke there to use him as a trade bait when you feel the time is right? Because you've already, you have to move on from him. Are you going to split them 50-50?
I don't think there's a team in the NFL that would take on that contract. I really don't.
Here's what they have to wait for. If you get a situation like you did with the Ravens last year, where you're bringing in Devonta Freeman to be your number one and Le'Veon Bell to be your number one guys, yes, then a team who's in contention would take on that contract.
$15 million on a running back? I don't think so.
If he's in shape, if he's healthy, and if he can be somewhat effective. Or do you just run him into the ground and see what happens?
They're probably just going to run him into the ground.
I think Mike McCarthy will ultimately do that. I think they're going to run Zeke into the ground
Mike McCarthy.
and just see what happens. And
who else? Except for they've depended on Zeke.
See, this is what
every
happens
year.
with the Cowboys.
What are they going to do
One
without
game
him?
they want to play
That's what
ground
they're
and pound.
thinking.
The next game they want to throw for 500 yards.
correct.
That's the most
And I think
shittiest
the
thing I've
reason
ever
for
seen.
that is because you have no consistency.
Yes.
You don't know what's going to happen week to week with your backs. Like, that's why I think if they said, okay, we're going to use a 50-50 split right down the middle between Zeke and Pollard, and you know what? That will take pressure off of Dak. Or we're going to run Zeke into the ground, and as soon as he's injured, we're going to put Pollard in there. That would take pressure off
If they were
Dak.
smart, they would do the 50-50.
I think so too. If you can keep them both healthy.
Yeah.
If Zeke could stay
time.
healthy, do you think he could play at the level he used to?
I do. If he's
Absolutely.
healthy. He's got to come in healthy. He's got to come in totally healthy. The offensive line has to play better. Their offensive line is about a half a step up from the Giants' offensive line. They need to play better
Agree with that. And
because it can't
Dallas
just be
is
all
known-
they didn't do enough to they didn't do enough to bolster themselves in the offseason.
That's the thing every year with
known
them.
for their
The
offensive line.
Dallas Cowboys were known for their offensive lines being the
Yes.
best in the NFL. And now I don't even think they're in the top 10.
No, I don't.
They're not. They're not because they lose guys and don't replace them.
Moving on. Clyde Edwards-Helaire at 30. I want to see what he can do. With the Chiefs offense, obviously they're a pass-first team, period. They need the run just to set up the pass slightly. If Edwards-Helaire can just be mildly effective this year.
I think you're going to see them go in a different direction.
You do.
I really do.
Well,
They signed Ronald Jones
I know that.
away from Tampa.
Everybody's very
And
high
I think
on
they're
Ronald
going to
Jones
turn
right
into
now.
this juggernaut, pound you in the face offense.
Well, again, if you can run it, Clyde, are you good over here?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Ding, 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 ding,
He's
ding,
got
ding,
a
ding.
space phone going off.
Damn. If you could use Ronald Jones and Edwards-Helaire as a duo, that's what the NFL is going to. Get two backs who are both effective, not superstars. Running backs should no longer be a superstar position.
No.
It should be we're going to take two guys who are both effective, who are both good, and use them the way they need to be used. Period.
You need the guy that can get the short yardage when you need him, and you need the guy that can.
You need a guy who can catch passes out of the backfield. You need a ground and pound guy. You need a nice, elusive guy who can make the cuts and has breakaway speed. You
Nice
need
to have that
all
change of pace
three.
guy.
Correct.
I mean,
you don't have that change of pace guys, whether it's a guy that
Look
can
at-
run in between the tackles or catch.
I hate. People probably hate that I'm saying this, but I think the Lions have that.
No, I
you
agree
have
with you.
DeAndre Swift, who's that Swifty guy who can, catch the ball, run for a couple yards, and then you have Jamal Williams, who
There we
can
go.
fucking ground and pound and just power his way through.
I don't disagree with you one bit.
So, yeah.
Next up, we already spoke about him, Breece Hall. Great talent, Jets. The only thing with him is Michael Carter could cut into that target share a little bit, and we don't know anything about him. And you have to remember the Jets were an atrocity last year on offense, so we don't know 1,000% what we're going to see. Do you think that's low for him?
For Hall? Mm-hmm. Well, we haven't even seen him yet. How much is he going to get?
That's why
I still think it's
'cause-
going to be a 50-50 deal from the get.
with Michael Carter.
Well, I
Again,
just do.
talent-wise, I think
Robert
Breece-
Saleh came from the 49ers, and the 49ers, that's what they do. It's running back by committee.
right.
And I believe that's going to happen there in New York.
Again, I think Breece Hall's more talented than 29, but there's just too many
Yeah.
question marks there at the moment. 28's Rashad Penny, who we already spoke about. 27, I have Cordero Patterson.
I love Cordell Patterson.
Atlanta's offense, again, big question marks. But Cordero Patterson is a receiver who became a running back, and the majority of his target share is going to come from pass catching out of the backfield, which I'm good with. And in fantasy, he's much higher, especially in PPR, than 27. But as far as power rankings go for running backs, I think that's where he needs
No,
to be.
you're about right.
He's not going to be the most dynamic runner. Is he going to bust through some guys and get those big runs? Yes. Is he going to be extremely effective out of the backfield? Yes. But is he the running back of the future for the Falcons? I don't think so. Number 26, I have A.J. Dillon. And I have a theory. Okay, he disagrees. Go ahead.
No, I'm listening.
I thought his brain just shorted out.
I don't know what the fuck.
No, I'm listening to what you're saying. What?
A.J. Dillon, to me, is one of the best young guys at the running back
Fucking
position.
monster.
He's an absolute
Guy's a
monster.
monster.
All right. Again, I got a lot of
load.
hate for having Aaron Jones where I had him. But again, I think we're going to have a similar situation in Green Bay with the moving. Yeah, is Aaron Jones going to be the number one? And is he going to be effective? Yes. But are they going to utilize the other guys they have in order to protect Aaron Jones and in order to be a more effective offense? Yes. A.J. Dillon should be getting at least 35% of the snaps. That takes a massive load off Aaron Jones. It also brings down Aaron Jones' numbers. It also brings down Aaron Jones' everything. But it keeps him on the field. I like A.J. Dillon. Honest to God, I think he is talented enough to where if the Packers wanted to move on from Aaron Jones at some point, much like the Cowboys can with Zeke now with Pollard, they could. When Aaron Jones gets to be too expensive or too banged up or too this, they could move on and they have a guy, an heir apparent waiting. I'm a big fan of A.J. Dillon, and I think he's going to have a very good year that ultimately will affect Aaron Jones in a slight negative, but keep him on the field. At 25, I have Elijah Mitchell. And I don't even
He had
like
a good
having
year
him
last
there.
year.
He had a good year last year, but the 49ers, do you want to know what the 49ers are reminding me of right now? The Browns.
I think their defense is better than Cleveland's.
No. I'm not talking from a talent standpoint or even an on-the-field standpoint. All of the bullshit now is getting very Cleveland-esque.
Well, I
You
mean,
got the head coach and the GM coming out and saying, oh, Trey's our guy, and we're moving on
that's
from
good.
Jimmy G. Jimmy G can go where he wants, and Deebo Samuel's one of the best receivers in the NFL, but we're not going to pay him. And usually when there's this much noise in an offseason, a team comes out flat and ineffective.
see what happens. I don't think so. I think they did the right thing by saying we're going with Trey Lance right now.
Yes, but why did
They want to go
you,
with Lance, they should go with him.
Why did it take you 6 months to get there?
Well,
why haven't you moved Jimmy
I don't
G?
know why you
What?
do it just before training camp starts.
Right.
Why are they
But-
even thinking about getting rid of Deebo? Like,
Because they don't want to pay him.
They're not getting rid of
fucking
him,
pay
dude.
the guy, dude.
They're in discussions with them.
See,
He is all they
think he
have,
got rubbed a
in my
little bit the
opinion,
wrong
and
way
it's-
because you know why? He's seen that what they have him doing might shorten his career. So he had made the comment that he didn't want to do it anymore because that's why he wanted out.
He's doing everything.
Exactly. When you're a guy that's touching the ball as much as he is, your chances of getting hurt are great.
yeah. And
he's a receiver, not a running back.
I'm not as high on San Francisco as I was a few weeks ago. I'll just say that. I'm also not sold on Elijah Mitchell as much as I am some of these other guys.
I'm more sold on Elijah Mitchell than I am Trey Lance.
I feel about the
I
same
just
on
think
both.
Lance, you know what? He had his opportunities last year and he didn't jump off the page, dude.
I know.
I don't know if it's just me or
I don't understand it. That's it. It's it in a nutshell. I
part of
don't
being
understand
young, I get
what
it.
San Francisco's doing. I don't understand. It's getting a little Cleveland-esque for me. That worries me about both Elijah
what
Mitchell
happens
and
with
Trey Lance.
Shanahan.
Dumpster fire.
Huh?
it's what happens with Shanahan. It just seems like he overdoes everything
Yeah, just get it.
and it just turns to shit
Uh,
at the wrong time.
at 24, I have Miles Sanders.
I think he's a great kickoff guy and that stuff. But as far as an every down back, no.
Well, but this is the thing. Who's the every down back in Philly? We haven't known
There
for
isn't.
3 years, right?
They got Boston Scott.
Some
they got
weeks
this
it's
guy.
Boston Scott. Some weeks it's Kenneth Gainwell. Some
Yeah.
weeks it's Miles Sanders.
Yeah.
We don't know, but most likely Miles Sanders will get the bulk of the starts and the snaps.
Correct. You
And
just got to stay healthy, and that's
on Philadelphia's offense, you will be somewhat productive. So that's why he is where he is. At 23, bring on the hate. Here we go. I have Travis Etienne.
okay.
I think he is going. I'm going to get absolutely butchered for saying this, but I think Travis Etienne will finish as a top 10 back this year. Just going to say it. If you go watch the guy's highlights from college, he is an absolute fucking stud, and he's probably. Realistically, if you go back and look at the tape, he looked better than Jonathan Taylor. In college, he looked better than Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
He did.
Well, Jonathan Taylor was a stud in college.
Right.
Jonathan Taylor fell in the draft.
Correct. But if you look at the college tape,
Yeah.
Etienne looks better than Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
So, am I scared to say I think there's a potential that Etienne could have a year like Jonathan Taylor did last year? Yes, because I know everybody will butcher me. But
No, you always got that guy who comes out of nowhere, dude.
What makes
And listen, he missed a year, which was probably a good thing for him.
He's coming back
Especially for the
1,000.
dysfunctional shit that was going on.
He wasn't part of the dysfunction. New head coach, new offense. He's essentially a rookie all over again.
Right.
I'm sorry. 23 is too low for Etienne, but I want to see a week of him on the field, and I think we'll be able to rewrite the book, and I think he'll jump up 15
he was the best
spots.
back to come out of that class.
Agree wholeheartedly. Another one I got hate for. At 22, I have Saquon Barkley.
They're trying to say what? That wasn't
Too low.
high enough? Too low?
Dude, the
Barkley's
guy
gotta
can't
play.
fucking stay healthy, dude.
He's got to get on the field and play,
He
man.
can't see, most of these clapbacks, I feel like people just literally, they'll tell us we have no idea what the fuck we're talking about because they have a hard on for somebody because they live in that fucking state and they love that fucking guy to the fucking die. All right? Fuck that shit.
I agree. Now, I will
He's
say,
got to stay on the field, period.
I had Saquon Barkley higher. And then every guy that I was kept going, I was like, no, I'd rather take him than Saquon. No, I'd rather take him than Saquon.
And was there a back coming out of college in the past 15 years that was as good as Saquon Barkley?
No.
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 It's not that easy. The talent has nothing to do with it.
It's the fact that
It's the fact that he cannot stay
Like
on
he's one
the
hit
field.
away from ending his entire career.
And I'm not blaming him totally. I mean, they're so inept there on offense.
I mean, they're.
I mean,
that's the
come
other
on,
thing.
dude.
Part
They've
of
gone
this.
through how many receivers in the past 5 years? They've gone through like 13, 14 receivers in 5 years.
Part of this is putting these backs where they are based on how good their offense is. Obviously, if you're on a better offense, you're going to perform better. He is on the worst fucking offense, realistically, in football.
Yeah.
So,
And it's not all Daniel Jones's fault either. Their offensive
Daniel
line.
Jones?
They're all,
Daniel Jones?
Daniel Jones.
You said Janiel.
I said Daniel.
You said Janiel.
Daniel with the
Daniel
T.
Jones.
Dick.
Daniel.
Daniel Jones.
Anyway, they can't get it together up front. Now they drafted offensive linemen this year. They arguably got the best one in the draft. We'll see what happens, man. Because if they can't protect this guy or open the holes for Barkley, yeah, he deserves to be right where you got him.
Right.
Because he ain't going to make it through a whole season.
No chance.
Am I wrong on that or no?
No, I
He
agree.
won't make it through a
Sad to
He's
say.
got to make it at least through 5-6 games without getting hurt.
I don't know.
And he can. I don't think he can do it.
At 21, J.K. Dobbins, who we already discussed along with Gus Edwards. It's sad. That one's sad for me because he was so young. We didn't even get to see it. He's hurt, and we didn't even get to fucking see it. I hope they give him the time. I saw an article yesterday that he was pushing to get back on the field. Harbaugh, don't put J.K. Dobbins out until he is 1,000% ready to go. I want to see him make it through a full year.
Well, he's another guy. If he can't make
this
it,
is it.
they're going to have to look to move on too.
This is it. If he can't stay on the field this year, he's gone. So he's sitting there pushing the training staff. I saw on Twitter, he's pushing the training staff to try and get on the field.
Listen, they have the best
wait it
running
out.
back in the fucking league in Lamar Jackson. They really don't need Dobbins.
That's also true. But I do love J.K. Dobbins. I think
I do too. It'll make
he takes a ton of
Jackson's job
pressure
a lot
off of Lamar.
easier
Right.
if he's got a guy that's electric.
At 20, and again, another one that everybody said I was too low is David Montgomery. Part of the reason why he's there, their offense isn't that effective yet. And
They haven't figured out what they're doing yet.
right. And I don't know how good David Montgomery is or how inept everybody else on the team was. And they just like, fuck it, hand off the ball.
It's obviously the guy can put up numbers.
He can put up numbers,
Obvious.
but his workload's also immense.
His workload is weird.
Yeah.
They're just weird.
They're just weird. The Bears just confuse everybody right now. At 19, I have Josh Jacobs.
when are the Raiders going to really, really commit to him?
They got to do it.
And I'm not gonna blame. You know, they had some issues there too with the coaching and that.
100%. But
when are they gonna commit to this guy?
This has got to be the year.
It's got to be.
I think 19's too low. I think with all of the additions they've made on offense and all the changes, it should open up room for him to be effective. You know, they have a couple guys behind him that are effective.
They just drafted another one too.
Realistically, if they commit to him, he should have a great year. I think this would be the first year where you're like, oh, Josh Jacobs is the real deal. And I'm good with that.
Outside his rookie year.
Correct. 18, I have Damian Harris.
I don't have a problem with that.
I think
He's real effective last
that's
year.
right where he should be. So at 18, I have Damian Harris. I'm not a Patriots fan, but for some reason, I'm finally starting to.
Hear what he just said?
He's not a Patriots fan.
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll correct myself. I'm not.
No, go ahead.
I'm not a fan of what the Patriots are doing right now.
He's not a firm believer.
I'm not a believer in them at the moment, but I'm starting to kind of buy in because I think Belichick might have one little last parting piece left for this year, maybe, before he rides off into the sunset, and they might win 10 games and get bounced in the first round of the playoffs. Maybe.
Sticking with bouncing the first round.
Oh, I'm still sticking with bouncing in the first round. They're not a playoff team. Devontae Parker's not going to take you to the playoffs. But
I can't wait to see Mac Jones. I'm so excited. I seen him. He looks completely transformed. He's ready to go. I can't wait.
Well, Bruce used to be 175 pounds and pudgy, but I mean, he's still the same person on the inside.
Belichick was talking about he's made leaps and strides.
We're not talking about Mac Jones. Why are we? We're talking about running backs.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, Mac Jones. Go ahead, draft him in fantasy, like I told you.
I'm going to.
But as far as Damian Harris goes, I think he'll have a very consistent part of the workload. The only problem is some weeks Bill Belichick's like, let's give Rodmore Stevenson 20 carries. That's the problem. Talent-wise, he should be higher. Problem is, we don't know what Belichick's going to do week to week. And we've seen that before. It's kind of Philly-esque where he'll just...
And Stevenson's kind of a monster.
He is. And they'll just...
That kid there.
Or they'll go sign somebody off of a practice squad from, somewhere else and just throw him out there and give him the ball 25 times one game. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like, what was that one guy's name they did that with? He had the biggest, was it Stephen Ridley?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just brought him out of nowhere. He ran for fucking 250 yards, then they cut him.
Shoney Michelle.
Yeah. So, hopefully Damian Harris is
and trade him.
Consistent, but.
Fucking guy win Super Bowl MVP and they trade him.
At 17, I have Antonio Gibson.
I like Gibson. I don't think that's a bad spot for him.
Gibson could be higher or lower.
Could be higher.
We don't know yet. We don't know what's
going on in Washington. I don't think Washington knows what's going on in Washington. They changed their name to something stupid. Their owner, we don't know what's going on with him. I just heard he spent 11 hours of testimony in court.
Yeah.
Schneider.
So
via Zoom
Washington,
from Israel.
That's the biggest question is we don't know what's happening with them.
Nobody knows.
At 16 and probably too low, I have Cam Akers.
No, that's right about where he's at. You know why? Because you got to see if Cam Akers is going to come. He was awful in the Super Bowl. I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
He was awful. He was not himself. He's not the same guy, and he needs time to get back.
3 games.
I'm sorry?
He played for 3 games.
He looked awful. He was not himself.
No, but
he was awful.
How are you going to say he was not himself?
Yeah, you're coming after an Achilles tear. He's not. He wasn't himself
because he's
no different.
Because
than
off
Derrick
the first
Henry.
2 games, you can't really make that up. His 2 playoff games,
Look at Derrick Henry when he come back for the playoff game. He was a shell of himself. He was not the same guy.
Yeah, but we knew who Derrick Henry was before.
Anyway, I'm not going there.
That's my Cam Akers spiel. And Darnell Henderson's not a bad backup.
No.
I like Henderson. I think he's going to take a little bit of the target share away from Akers.
Could happen.
Ultimately,
Actually, it should happen so he can get healthy.
bingo.
To
Thank
be
you.
honest with you. So
15, Zeke, already been down that road.
we're not going there.
We're not going there again. At 14, I have James Conner.
I like James Conner.
James Conner is a fucking touchdown machine, point blank, period. He is. He will.
Yeah.
He's going to score a shitload of touchdowns. Their utilization of him at the goal line
Was very good last.
was awesome.
Them first 7 games when they were 7-0.
When they were all healthy and they were
was
hitting,
clicking.
he clicked. And I don't see him really missing a step this year. I think he'll fall right back into that. At 13, I have DeAndre Swift.
The talent's there. You just got to stay on the field. It's another Barkley question mark.
The Lions haven't. No, it's not a Barkley.
Yes, it is.
Tim
Yes,
Twain
it is.
came out.
This guy's been here 2 years and has not played a fucking single season yet.
Was it Tim Twain?
You're right. Hopefully he
What?
stays healthy.
Someone from the Lions camp did I was reading that whole thing of, who's looking up and who's looking down, and it was DeAndre Swift is looking way better than, anybody thought. So I'm,
Listen, the
There's a lot of
transition
hype
from
on
college to
DeAndre.
pro is huge.
Okay,
yeah.
there's a lot of hype on him.
We'll see.
I agree he's got to stay healthy, but the Lions have invested a shitload of money in their offensive line for the first time ever. As Bruce said, they're now the most expensive offense in football, which is sad when you're only going to get 5 wins. But
It's awful.
that should make DeAndre Swift. You have Jared Goff, whose back's against the wall. His ass is on fire because he's got to win games this year or he's going to be gone. You have DeAndre Swift, who hopefully is healthy, who hopefully we can see the full potential of his talent. You have more receivers, so it should open up the running game more, and you've invested everything you have in the offensive line. If DeAndre Swift does not go for 1,515, there's an issue. So he's
agree.
starting at 13, coming off of injury, not knowing what the Lions' offense is going to look like, and if he does not end the year in the top 5, it's all for naught.
True.
That's it. That's it in a nutshell. So he better be ready to go, because if they don't, it's all going to come crashing down again. At 12, I have the beefcake, Leonard Fournette.
I don't think that's a bad spot for him.
Now,
Fournette's a talent. People can say what they want. He's a talent. He's another guy coming out of college, man. He was the stud.
the truth, yeah.
He was a stud. And I think he's even more of a stud now. There's some issues about his weight, blah, 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 blah. We'll see what he looks like when season really starts.
just wait
You know
till
what?
playoff
So what, he gained a few pounds in
Playoff
the
Lenny, baby.
offseason.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong
And
with that.
The only thing that worries me about that is the state of the Bucs offensive line. But
He's a young guy.
he'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
At 11, we already discussed this along with A.J. Dillon. I have Aaron Jones at 11.
Yeah.
At 10, I have Javonte Williams.
I like Javonte Williams, but them re-signing Melvin Gordon already says that basically he'll be the guy, but I think you'll see them split carries more than.
Again, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm good.
I think it keeps him healthy.
Right. You need to have the double-headed fucking dragon. You got to have the double-headed dragon.
Right. Melvin Gordon's not a bad running back. Melvin
Gordon
really
is
good.
a perfectly effective number 2.
Yes.
It's a great setup. Javonte's a very, very talented young
See,
number 1.
they can flip-flop them guys too. If one guy's a little banged up, they can have Gordon step in and start
Correct.
and be very effective.
Very effective. No issues with that at all.
That's a good thing, not a bad
and you have Russell Wilson throwing the ball, so you could take that workload
Right.
off.
They're going to be their running lane should be wide open for
Yeah.
Denver. Should be.
Should be with their zone blocking too.
Um,
You know what that is, Bruce? Zone blocking.
at 9, I have Alvin Kamara.
You just hit me with these useless fucking.
Nobody on my list got more hate than where I had Alvin Kamara. I have him at 9. He's going to miss time. He's going to miss games.
He's going to miss probably. I would say 6 games he'll miss.
So we might not see him for the first 6 weeks.
If he doesn't go to jail.
True.
If he doesn't go to jail.
Again, is he talented? Absolutely. Do we know how much of him we're going to see? No. Mark Ingram's back there. We saw how their offense ran with both of them.
The Saints love
him.
Mark Ingram.
They will utilize him. Is that low for Kamara's talent? Yes. Is it low for what we're going to see out of Kamara this year? I don't think so. At 8, I have Nick Chubb. And I'm sorry, because Nick Chubb is a top 5 talent. He's going to tell me it's too low. That's fine. They're going to utilize Kareem Hunt. We don't know who the quarterback is.
I don't think it's too low for him.
I do. I think it's too low.
Talent-wise, he's top 5.
Talent-wise, it's too low.
5.
But no idea who the quarterback is. New coach, new offense. Kareem Hunt,
be healthy.
Dearness Johnson needs to be healthy. The Browns have more question marks than anybody else right now.
Which is shocking. The Seahawks had a lot of question marks.
Yeah, the Seahawks have calmed down a little bit.
Yeah. I thought the Browns were going to figure it out before the Seahawks.
Nah, the Browns never
ain't
figure
fucking
it out.
happening.
So they ain't going to figure anything out until this court makes a ruling.
Right.
And I think it's bullshit that they've been fucking around with this long.
No, it's fine.
To make your fucking decision.
No, I'm good with it because they'll make the Browns pay. It's better this way.
What are you saying? It's being done on purpose?
No, but it's just funny coincidence.
Okay.
At 7, I have Dalvin Cook.
He's another guy, dude, that's got all the talent in the world. Can he stay on the field? Can he stay healthy? Can he make it through a season without missing 4 or 5 games?
No.
No.
Wasn't there a comment he should be 1 or some shit?
Oh, yeah. People were telling me Dalvin Cook should be number 1 over Henry, over Taylor.
No, not over Henry at all. I don't even think he's better than McCaffrey. McCaffrey's
really,
better than him.
I got comments on that, too.
Really shocked me was that people were saying that Derrick Henry was 1 over Jonathan Taylor.
Well, we're going to get to that.
Okay.
Because
that
we're going to talk about that in a second. Dalvin Cook is missing 4 to 6 games away from being Saquon Barkley. It's every year. It's every single year. He misses 4 to 6
Listen,
games.
he'll play 2 games. He'll absolutely fucking tear it up.
Yeah, he'll run for
and then he'll
500 yards in 2 games.
He'll miss a game and a half.
Right.
He'll come in, have 2 carries for no yards.
Right.
And that's just inconsistent.
And that's part of the reason why you can't depend on Minnesota's offense. That's part of the reason why Minnesota is just right in the middle of the pack, because there's no consistency. Part of the reason why you don't know what you're getting out of the running game. You don't know if you're getting 250 yards or 25.
Right.
And then you have
Matt's not that bad.
Madsen is not
Matt's
bad.
Not that bad.
He's not bad.
He's a good guy to spell him, and if he's going to miss time, they have a guy there that's effective.
Correct.
He's effective.
He's effective.
But as far as talent-wise, he's a top 5 guy.
Correct.
He's a top 5 guy talent-wise.
But it's just his body's letting him down.
His body just can't hold up to that punishment.
At 6, I have Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon's a beast.
Joe Mixon's an absolute animal.
He's a beast.
The only reason he's not higher is because the top 5 are the top 5, and it's pretty much solidified. But Joe Mixon is what makes the Bengals offense go. And the Bengals offensive line got much better than last year. Mixon had a great year last year with a subpar offensive line. Offensive line's better. Joe Burrow's got another year of experience.
He should be more effective this year than
he should be even more effective. I wouldn't be shocked to see Joe Mixon finish top 3. That's it for me. At 5, it's Christian McCaffrey still. And what?
Talking about all these guys getting hurt and how the numbers have dropped.
That's why he's at 5.
That's why he's at 5.
That's why he's at 5.
Because if he stayed healthy, he is
bar none the best back in the league.
Correct.
If he could stay on the field,
you gotta remember,
he's number 1.
This is the thing. If McCaffrey can find a way to play 10 games, he'll have the numbers. It'll be like Henry last year. Derrick Henry went out, week 9? And it took everybody 4 weeks to catch up to him.
So what happens when
anybody caught him?
They have no quarterback option because Baker Mayfield's your quarterback, and then all that workload's on Christian McCaffrey, and then he gets hurt again.
I don't know.